Hi guys, this is Alicia Dumovich, the acting mentor, coming to you again with your acting tip for today. In case you missed our first two videos since we're a new channel, I would totally recommend you checking them out. Today we're going to discuss the 6 essential questions to answer for every script that you work with. And in the first two videos, I just told you a little bit about myself, and then I talked about some books and some initial steps that you can take if you have this crazy dream of becoming an actor. And so I talked about some of the things that you could start doing to train yourself, really, and start practicing in your room, filming yourself, doing different scenes, and I gave some suggestions on where you can find scripts. So now today we're going to take it to the next level, and now that you have the script in front of you, what do you do with it, right? So let's get started. There's a few different things that I like to do when I get a script, and I'm going to give you a step-by-step process on what you can do. So first, you're going to get your script, and let's say you got the whole pilot episode of a show, right? Or you've gotten the whole film script or something. Read through the whole thing. A pilot, in case you don't know, is the first episode of any TV show, right? It's the launch of a show. So, but you're going to read through the whole thing, the whole play, just to get an understanding of what's happening. The more that you understand what's going on, the better you're going to be able to portray a well-rounded character and a well-developed performance. So definitely read through it, look up any words, anything that you don't know or understand. I mean, look, the world is at our fingertips today. There's no excuse to not understand something. So look it all up, know what you're talking about, you've read through it, and now you are going to go through and highlight your lines. So I like to highlight all of my lines one color, and then I highlight all of my actions another color, and then I highlight everything that another character says about me in a third color. This helps me as I'm rehearsing and going through it to get have things about my character popping out at me as I'm working on it. So that's the next step that you want to take. And after you've done that, then you're going to answer the 6 essential questions. And you're going to do this whether it's TV show, commercial, monologue, it doesn't matter. And these are the basic scene breakdown questions to help get you going and to give you a roadmap for your scene. So the first question that you are going to answer is, who am I? For a commercial, you're always going to be yourself. We want to see you come in and be yourself, so that's the answer. That's pretty simple. If you're doing a scene, then you're going to be your character. So, you want to do a little character analysis, and we'll talk about that in another video, different ways that you can start working on character development. But who am I? All right, your next question is, who am I talking to? And this is really key because the way that you talk to your mom is different from the way that you talk to your best friend, and that's different from the way that you talk to your boyfriend and your teacher. So determine who you're talking to and what your relationship is with them, because those are really important things to understand when you're doing your scene. And then the next question is, where am I, right? And I want you to be really specific about this. It might even change the scene. Like if you're in a library and you're whispering to your best friend, that's going to be totally different than if you were in a stadium and you were having to yell at them because it's really loud. So the environment is really key. And if you're in your house, where in your house are you? Are you in your kitchen, in your bedroom? The more specific that you are with things, the more real it's going to be for you, and then it's going to be more real for us watching you. We're going to believe you more if you believe yourself. I mean, think about when you were little and let's say you played pretend, because I'm guessing that a lot of you, if you want to be actors, you had a wild imagination like I did and you played pretend. I was convinced that my backyard was Hawaii. And so I'd play these little pretend things with my best friend, and we'd film it and we'd make these movies and we'd pretend like my backyard was Hawaii. And I wholly in my mind imagined that we were there, right? So you really want to capture the imagination that you had when you were a kid in your acting. That's really a lot of what we're doing is creating this world that we want other people to believe that we're in. So, where am I? Next question is super important, arguably the most important, and that's your objective. What do you want? And what you want is always going to be from that other person that you're in the scene with. What do you want them to do? What do you want from them? This is important because it's your purpose for being in the scene, and you are always going to want something. Don't tell me that you don't want anything, because I promise you, you do. Even in the most mundane of circumstances, you want something, even if it's just to, gain sympathy because you're venting about what happened at school or work that day. You always want something. And so figure that out. That's really important. And especially in a film, like there's not going to be a scene in a film if it's not important, if there's not a reason for it to be there. So I promise you, you want something, investigate, be the investigator of your script and figure it out. And then once you answer that question, you need to know why it's important to you. Why do you want that, right? You've got to raise the stakes, keep them high. If it's not important to you, it's not going to be important to us watching you. And so you need to figure out why you want that. And then how are you going to get it? What is your action? And this is like going back to English class, right? Because I don't want you using be verbs. I don't want you telling me that you're going to tell your best friend about something. That's boring. It doesn't really do anything for you, right? And we don't go around in life just being mad. If we're mad at somebody, we do something to get them to apologize. So what you want is always going to be an action verb. So if I'm mad at my sister because she took my shirt and she ruined it, and I want her to apologize and buy me a new shirt, what am I going to do to get her to apologize and buy me a new shirt? Am I going to guilt trip her? Am I going to yell at her? What am I going to do to get her to do that for me? So that's your action. And then lastly, you want to answer for yourself, what is my moment before? We'll go into moment before in a little bit more depth in another video, but basically it's what happened to your character the 30 seconds before your scene or your commercial begins, what was just said to you. And you want to be really specific about that, because the more specific you are, the more helpful it's going to be for you. Again, I go back to using your imagination and how vivid it was when you were younger and how specific it was. So it's not just, oh, well, I was, planning to go over to my friend's house today. Like I walked up to my friend's door and I was nervous because I knew she was mad at me and my hand was shaking and I rang the doorbell and she opened it and she stared at me. And then bam, maybe you have your first line. So be really specific about what that moment before is. So those are the 6 essential questions you answer for every script. And I hope that helps. This is your jumping off point when you get something in front of you, and it just helps to give you a handle on what you're about to do as you start working it and doing it out loud. And so the next thing that you're going to do is start practicing it and start getting it on its feet and doing it out loud and rehearsing with someone or with yourself. And so tune in for our next video where I discuss the rehearsal process and some things that are going to help you as you begin to bring your scripts to life. So I'm excited to keep following you on your crazy journey, and if you have any questions about the video today, feel free to ask them below in the comments section. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you found it helpful, visit the Facebook page. Also, we'll have our website up soon, theactingmentor.net. So thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you soon.